What's good, everyone? Legacy here, also known as Infamous Legacy, back with another Marvel's Avengers build video. And in this video, I'm bringing back Kate Bishop and going to show you the ultimate Kate Bishop range build that you can use for any content in the Marvel Avengers game, especially end-game content where those hard missions become difficult. Well, with this build, it'll make it so much easier. So let's get it started. Let's go ahead and start with gear. So with gear, you guys already know we're actually going to break down where to find the gear, the stats, and everything else with the perks. So with the stats, before I get into the gear, you can see my Kate Bishop has improved a lot from the first build video. It has went to a range rating of 3,667, heroic rating of 4,272. And I know with Kate Bishop, she's going to continue to improve her stats as the game evolves, as we get more content and more missions with better gear. So we're going to start off with the melee piece. The melee piece I have right now is Edge of Ages. You can actually get this from one of the priority threat missions that you will see on the war table. The key to remembering it's a priority threat mission is if you look at the priority impulse perk, you can see 16.3% increased stun damage when on a priority mission of any kind. So you can see that I actually got it from one of those priority threat missions. I'm not sure which one it was, but I definitely know it was a legendary drop after I completed those missions. And in terms of the perk, the best perk I like about this piece right here is a Gamma Arrowhead, which is power attacks inflict gamma damage. So what are power attacks? Power attacks are when you go into your primary skills, it's a heavy attack, but it falls under power attack upgrade and also the power attack right here. So this is if you're on PlayStation, PS4, PS5, if you hold down triangle, you can launch a demolition charge arrow. And then when you press triangle 3 times, you can do a demolition expert power attack, which attacks additional targets, as the description says. So that's why I love this piece, because it does give you the ability to use a power attack to inflict damage. I wish I did have it in a plasma status effect. However, as you can see, the stats on my plasma piece, which I got from the Tachyon Rift missions, is not comparable to this legendary one. The legendary one, this build is all about precision, valor, and proficiency in those orders. Because with my stats, you can see it's a balance of range and heroic rating. Moving on, we're going to go into the range gear, one of my favorite pieces in the game for Kate Bishop, and that range gear piece is targeted buff arrowheads. So the reason I love this is not only because of the stats again, it's because of the gear perk, which is targeted buff. You guys will come across pieces where, range pieces especially, where it will give you damage buffs. However, some of those damage buffs will give you the option of, if you defeat an enemy, you'll be granted a damage buff, or if you're dodging or parrying an enemy, you'll be granted a damage buff. However, with this range piece right here, all you need to do is hit the enemy, and as fast as Scattershot is, you can spam Scattershot multiple times and you will get this buff within, I would say, within less than 15 seconds, to be honest. So once you're spamming Scattershot, you'll be granted that damage buff, and that's when you really go in and attack your enemies. So once that damage buff is granted, that's when I start going into my heroics and everything. And I also like the second perk right there, Gamma Tipped Arrows, which is basically when you're hitting enemies with Scattershot, you're applying gamma damage. Again, I would prefer this in a plasma status damage. If I do ever come across that with the exact same perks and the same stats, I will definitely go for a plasma piece, because I feel like plasma is one of my favorite status effect damages to have, and it also gives me a balance instead of rocking the same status effect damage for 2 pieces. So I'd rather have this piece, even if you don't like plasma, whether it's cryo, PIM, you want to make sure you get a battery effect. So again, yeah, so one of these two pieces, I would love to have the opposite status effect. On to the next piece, we have a defensive gear piece. This was all for the stats, and I almost forgot. Oops. Where did I get this piece? I actually got this from one of the villain sector missions. So when you're either beating Maestro, Abomination, Taskmaster, Monica, the Warbot, you can get this piece from one of those missions. And there is a chance where you might even get it from a golden chest. So just keep that in mind. And I quickly will explain to you what battery effect means in case any new players are not aware of it. So with Kate Bishop, when you're using Scattershot, you're applying gamma damage. Gamma damage is like a cold status effect. So there's 3 cold status effects: shock, gamma, and cryo. Right now I'm rocking with gamma, and you want to make sure you create that battery effect, meaning you want to get a warm status effect. A warm status effect is cosmic, plasma, or PIM. So I rather have a plasma, PIM, or cosmic status effect on one of these pieces. Just so when I do use Scattershot, for example, if it's gamma, I'll deal gamma damage first. But if this piece right here deals plasma damage or PIM damage, I can go into the power attack combo where I'm using triangle to shoot arrows to apply a plasma damage. But again, it's not really that important with this build. I will say that just because this is not a status effect build, this is a damage dealing buff build. So this is like the ultimate build for dealing the most damage with Kate Bishop. So going back to this, yes, so we went with the defensive gear piece of reactive pulse bodysuit. Reason I like this is the stats are amazing, but also the damage buff you get, which is vital buff. So if one of your teammates are down, especially when the content gets harder, you have a 69.5 chance of reviving a teammate and granting a damage buff for yourself. So on top of this and this, you could see that you will get some damage buffs. And a major artifact I'll show you soon will also give you a damage buff. This piece right here drops also from the golden, like the legendary chest, like the gold chest. Sometimes you have the occasion of getting it through a mission when you're running it. Any mission really, it just has to be a gold drop. You really have to be lucky to get this piece with the stats it has and the perks. And you can see this piece compared to my exotic pieces are not really that good, because I'm really just looking for that damage buff. Even with the Omega Threat piece right here, you can see that it doesn't do anything, no justice to this compared to my legendary. Next piece here, this is the heroic gear piece. I actually got this from the priority threat mission. So with the priority threat mission, there is a chance now where you can get one exotic piece guaranteed to you. So you can either get it from that, okay, or you can actually get it from the Last Avenger Standing mission. So the Last Avenger Standing mission is a 16th floor hive. So this piece right here, I'm really paying attention to 2 perks. Surge Enhancer, which is 20% increased damage and impact while Quantum Surge is active, which is your ultimate heroic ability. And then Decoy Effector. And also Quantum Precision. So sorry, all 3 perks on this piece are amazing. And again, the stats are amazing too. Wish I got some proficiency, but that doesn't really matter. The resolve does help me with health and defense, which is good. Because if you look at it here, you can see resolve is all about more health. You want to make sure you have some health, at least when you're doing that, you know, end game content or other harder missions. So yeah, so back to the gear perks, we have 20% increased damage and impact while Quantum Surge is active. We have the support heroic ability of the decoy. So this decoy effector increases the duration of the decoy and increases the damage and effectiveness of the decoy. Then we also have Quantum Precision. So when you're using your ultimate heroic ability, you have 20% increased damage while in quantum overdrive. Moving on to the minor artifacts, so now you can see I went more of a balance of precision and valor. So I went with the yellow ISO 8. Sometimes there is a rare chance where your blue drops, which is your rare drops, are better than your actual purple drops, your epic drops. And this one actually gives me an increased charge rate for my heroic ability. And the valor stats are amazing to this. So I go with this. It's a 135 piece, so obviously it doesn't show my Kate Bishop to 150 just because of these two minor artifacts, but it's all good. Then I got the precision piece right here, which is a rare blue piece, which has high precision stats. The perk I really don't care about that much. I wish I did get a perk where I can increase my assault heroic ability or ultimate heroic ability, but this will work for now until I get one of those pieces. And again, when you're getting these minor artifacts, you do want to save them if you do run into, like, you know, amazing ones like this again. So you can save them for any builds in the future. If you want to go strictly heroic or strictly precision, you'll switch them in and out. However, I like going with the balance again, which is precision and valor. So that's what this build is all about, having a high rating of range and a high rating of heroic. Major artifact, just like my previous old Kate Bishop video, we're going with the Sacred Nornstone of Lethal Will. This will give you an increased duration of all damage buffs by 4 seconds. So basically what that means is once you Scattershot, well, let's go to that again, you'll get a 30.7 chance of hitting an enemy. You'll get a damage buff. Again, it happens so often that you'll continue to get that damage buff a lot with the targeted buff perk. So you'll have that. And then you will have the buff of the vital buff of reviving a teammate. So what this major artifact does, it increases the duration of all those damage buffs by 4 seconds. If you use something like this, you won't be getting that increased, you know, duration for your damage buffs. That's why I actually go with this. I love this piece for Kate Bishop because, again, you're doing a lot of damage and you're going to be melting enemies. Okay, now we're actually going to go into skills. I'm going to quickly go over through skills. I will give some information about certain skills that you should be using. So again, we went over power attack. Power attack is Demolition's Expert and Demolition Charge Arrow. So your melee gear piece might have that, so which is good. But again, make sure the stats are precision, valor, and proficiency with your melee, your heroic, your defensive, and your range. Alright, so we're going to go into specialty. So this is a support heroic ability, which is basically based on your decoy. We got quantum field, so basically when you're using this ability right here with your decoy, the decoy is going to drop this barrier which covers, like, it's a pretty big radius. It's like a circle that will be laid down, and any heroes that are standing near the decoy will reduce any damage by like 35%. So that's this right here. And they don't show the shield, but it's all good. But you want to definitely use that. It's really helpful, especially in harder missions. Next one, we have Healing Light, which is amazing. I like this just because when you're in a mission with no healer and you employ your decoy will attack enemies, deal damage. Defeating enemies will increase its chance of dropping regeneration packs. So you can pick those up to increase, recover your health. So Healing Light is a must. Now we're going to go into Assault Heroic ability. Assault Heroic ability, we're going into Singularity. I love using Singularity when I actually have a damage buff active. So I will do about 100,000 damage while this is active with the current stats I have right now. So this will suck all the enemies in and then just explode, as you see right in the clip right there. So in the clip you don't see it exploding, but it will just explode. And then next we have Void Walker, which just gives you an extra Warp Arrow charge. So again, when you're using Warp Arrow, your Assault Heroic ability, make sure you do have that damage buff active while you're using it. Ultimate Heroic ability is something that I changed probably in the last month or two with my Assault Heroic ability, and that is Quantum Sight. I used to use Quantum Storm, however, I didn't like holding L2 and holding R2 to fire. Quantum Sight, yes, it looks like a melee, but it actually isn't. So when you're using Quantum Sight, you can actually hit your enemies with range attacks just by holding L2 and R2, again, if you're on PlayStation, and you'll be able to shoot arrows. Don't hit triangle, don't hit square when you're using this heroic ability, ultimate heroic ability. Just use your range attacks, and you will see how much damage. I also do this with the clip I will show you at the end. Next one, we have Quantum Magnifier. Damage from all quantum energy infused attacks is increased by 10% while Quantum Overdrive is active. Quantum Overdrive is this right here. So while you have that active, you're going to be doing, increased damage by 10%. So that was the specialty. I'll just leave it right here so you can see what I put my attributes into. Next, let's move on to the mastery. So quickly go over this. Melee, we have this Shot Taker. And then right here we have Lasting Impression, which helps your Demolition Charge Arrow by 10%. So increase the damage dealt by the explosion on the Demolition Charge Arrow by 10%. So going back, that's this move right here. So you can see it like detonates on an enemy. So that's a must. Then right over here, you obviously want the takedown where you get a heroic orb so you can charge your heroic abilities. For range, it's all Scattershot based because again, this is a Scattershot build as well. We got True Shot, we got Sure Shot, and we got Archer's Prowess. So that's for range. Into intrinsic now. So this, I'll just let you guys read the description. I'm not really going to go into it. But I will mention this right here is more so when you're like, dodging and weaving, you're teleporting. That's what this is for. And now into intrinsic overcharge. Defeating enemies while overcharge adds the buff duration by 1 second, which is amazing. This is more related to your range. Increases the amount of range overcharge meter, energy gain from a range critical attack by 5%. So with this build, you are going to be doing a lot of critical damage. So you will be increasing the amount of overcharge meter by 5% a lot often. Precision overcharge, range attack damage is increased by 10% while overcharge. Another good one to have. And that is all for the mastery abilities. Quickly, you can see what I have. Now to the champion system. So with the champion system, I will mention the ones you would like to upgrade right away, and then the other ones you will eventually get as you continue playing. So we have critical damage boost. You definitely want to max this out. As you can see, I'm working on that. We have the critical chance boost. And then I also went here with the perk chance boost. The reason I like this one is it gives you a better chance of activating those damage buffs from your gear pieces that you have. So you definitely want to make sure you get this and max it out. And then I went into range. You can also max out your heroic damage. That will help with your heroic abilities. Then you can go into this, increase your charge rate of all heroics by 2.5%. This will help you get your heroics charged pretty quickly. And I also want to go back to this. I also would max this out, status and stun damage. So that's where you can apply your gamma damage or any other status effects that your gear is equipped with. And then, yeah, I'll probably max out everything else after that. So, most important things to max out again is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you really wanted to. Sorry, this should be 7. Yeah, this one right here. And then everything else. So, I showed you guys the champion system. So now you know what it is. We're going to go ahead and demonstrate this build to you and see how much damage this Kate Bishop build does. So again, probably one of the best Kate Bishop builds you will come across, especially if you like dealing damage. You will do damage than other characters, trust me, if you know how to get the gear, if you know how to build your character, your Kate Bishop will be a beast. So now over to the harm room. Alright, so we're in the harm room right now. So let's go ahead, custom harm room, quickly test this out. Let's see, let's go into this. Hopefully I don't die, because sometimes when I do demonstrate, it does get a little bit difficult at times, because I'm not paying attention. So let's go ahead and start this off. So start the harm room. So switch to Scattershot arrows. So you can see the damage buff is activated. Teleport. Bring them all in with warp arrow because the damage buff's activated. Look how much damage I do. Just defeated all of them like that. Now let's deploy the decoy. Continue using Scattershot. I have another warp arrow charge. And you're going to see how much damage it does with the damage buff. So see, oh shoot. I got some enemies up there. Let me go ahead and destroy them. Hit them with the takedown, get our heroic orb. Get the damage buff again. Alright, so there's one more enemy right over here. Oops, oh my goodness, I fell. Where you at? Where you at? Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to deploy the ultimate heroic with the artifact. So let's first get the damage buff going. Let's dodge these enemies because they will reduce your heroic charge up. Okay, we got the damage buff. We're going to apply the artifact. And then the ultimate heroic ability. This is Quantum Scythe right here. And you want to really aim for the head so you can do a little bit more damage with this ability. Keep dodging, keep going back. So you just continue holding L2 and R2 if you're on PlayStation to use this ability. And then now it's gone. Give me my damage buff. Let's get this takedown going. There we go. There, we got the damage buff. Let's take that drone down. Dodge that. Right there. And we got one enemy down over here. Aim for the head. Obviously, if you do headshots, you will do a little bit more damage than your regular scattershot attacks. So always aim for the head. Alright, there we go. So now, let's try and get another damage buff going. There we go. Bring them all in. This is what the damage buff. Deploy the decoy. And yeah, basically it's all about just hitting Scattershot, trying to get your damage buff going. Obviously, dodging these attacks. And continue, you know, hitting these enemies from a distance. So the decoy does drop regeneration packs, as you saw right there. So let's get that. Let's go ahead and defeat these enemies real quick. Oh shoot, I got hit right there. Pick up these regeneration packs. Okay, I might die here. I might die. Alright, because I see an Exo behind me. Yep, I did not know he was in this. I thought it was just Adaptoids. Oh shoot, jeez. Oh snap, give me a orb. I really need a warp arrow going on. Whoa, we going up. Let's go up. Oh my goodness, there's more of you. This is the last wave too. Let's get them. So with harder contact with the Kate Bishop build, you just want to really make sure you're ducking and weaving. So parrying, dodging, all that good stuff. Oh my goodness, and I died. See, I wasn't paying attention. I had a warp arrow there to destroy these dudes. Alright, all good. Obviously, you can beat a harm room of 170 enemies with Kate Bishop. You just really got to pay attention. But that was a demonstration of the build. Now what I'm going to do for you is I want to throw you in a clip of the Omega level threat mission called Family Reunion, where you're fighting the Super Adaptoid. And this video clip you will see right here, you will see me using Kate Bishop. I'm actually teamed up with 2 Thors. However, those 2 Thors aren't doing as damage as I am. You will see the amount of numbers I'm doing and the amount of damage I'm doing to the Super Adaptoid, where I just melt him with Kate Bishop. I actually beat out those Thors when it comes to damage. If there was a scoreboard for damage, you would have seen my Kate Bishop up top. That's what this build can do. So again, if you're looking for a heavy hitter Kate Bishop, check this one out. It's definitely much improved than my last build video. So if you do look at my last build video, I will put a link to this one on there so you guys are aware of the updated build. However, again, this build is the damage dealing Kate Bishop build, OP for all contents of the game, and it will continue improving as this game continues to evolve. So let's go ahead and show you that clip.
Omega. As you wish, Dr. Rabicini.
Okay, yikes. Looks like this new killbot is a big Avengers fan. The shield, the hammer. I guess you've got some rockets hiding back there.
Kate, AIM has control of the bridge. We can't open it again unless we get it back.
Please, just hang on. How about a range check?
So, what did I tell you? I did some crazy amount of damage in that clip you just saw right there. Again, this Kate Bishop is one of my favorite builds, and she's actually one of my favorite characters to use. And I, again, hope you really understood the build from the gear, from the mastery, the abilities that I use, the champion system, everything that you need for the ultimate Kate Bishop damage dealing build. So that's the end of this video. Again, please show your support by liking the video, subscribing, commenting. If you do have any questions, I do answer all comments, good and bad. I'm gonna respond to them. And yeah, just take care, stay safe. I'm out. Peace.